Hi, my name is Orlando Ramos, and I'm coming to you from Oh About That. And today I want to talk to you about faith. Oh, about that faith. Let me explain that to you. So, how does faith work? So, first of all, I want to bring out that I know that there's a lot of bad connotations out there with faith right now because there's a lot of people who have believed for something, have prayed for something, and they never received what they were believing for. So, of course, now they have a bad feeling about it. Now they're unsure about it. This doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. Maybe it's only for special people and not for me. There's a bad connotation about that. But let me explain to you the reason for that is because we don't understand faith. And because we don't understand faith, we can't get it to function for us. We can't get it to work for us. So let me explain a little bit what I mean. So Billy and Sally, they go to the same office, and today they're going to use the same computer. Billy goes in, and he wants to print a specific paper. He goes in, and he's able to achieve his goal. Sally goes in with the same expectation, with the same desire to be able to print the paper, but she can't achieve the same goal that Billy did. Is it because Billy's better? Is it because Billy's favorite? Is it because Billy's more knowledgeable or anything like that? It's a simple thing. Billy knew how to use the computer and how to get that document printed. Sally did not. And so, therefore, she couldn't achieve her goal. What we need to do is learn how to use the machine. And the machine in this case is faith. And once we learn how to use that, then we'll be able to achieve our goals. And this is what we're going to go over today. So please stay with me. Now, first of all, what I want you to understand is that what is faith? Because if you don't know what faith is, and that's one of the things that a lot of people get tripped on, if you don't know what faith is, then you can't get it to work for you. So, what is faith? First of all, here's how I like to explain it. Faith is believing that God is listening to you and He will respond. Faith is knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that He is listening to you and that He will respond. That's a pretty simple concept, right? Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen." So, even though you haven't seen it yet, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen because your expectation is that that will happen. And since that is your expectation, that is your belief, that is exactly what will happen. That's faith. Now, another thing that people get tripped on is it didn't happen, so it didn't work for me. Well, you probably haven't given it enough time. Just because it didn't happen immediately, that doesn't mean faith isn't working. When you prayed for something, when you began to ask for something, all of a sudden production started happening and things started shifting around on earth and in heaven and the universe and all around, and God is moving things around to make this happen for you. So it doesn't necessarily happen immediately. So you have to understand that. I know the story of this one man who had a vision board. Vision board is where you put pictures of things that you are hoping for, that you're expecting. And so when you look at it each day, those pictures in your mind will produce what you want. So this man had a vision board and he moved around several times. And on that vision board, he had a picture of this mansion that he wanted to purchase at some point in his life. Now, he moved around several times, like I said before, and one of those times, his child was running around playing, and he saw this one box, and he asked his father, "Hey, Dad, what's in this box?" And he says, "Oh, this is a lot of my old stuff, a lot of documents and papers and stuff, and I have a lot of things that I used to work on." And he opened it up, and he showed him one of the vision board, and on that vision board, he saw that one picture, and he began to cry. And the child asked him, "Well, Dad, why are you crying? What's the matter?" And he goes, "I just realized that I had forgotten about this, but this picture of this mansion, that's where we're unpacking now. This is where we've just moved to." So it took years for him to be able to achieve getting that home, but he actually got there. So things don't happen immediately. I remember, I know the story of this um, other speaker, this preacher, and they asked him, this couple came and asked him, hey, about you preaching about faith, we were praying about this home and it was sold to somebody else. And so the preacher said, oh, you should thank God. And they said, but that's the home that we wanted. Why would we thank God that somebody else bought it? And he said, because now they're going to renovate it for you and they're going to remodel it so that when you get it, it's going to be completely and totally renovated and remodeled. You see, that's how faith works. It doesn't have to happen immediately. But if that's what you're believing for, that's what your expectation is, that is exactly what's going to happen. No matter what you see happening, that is what's going to happen. That's how faith functions, and that's how faith works. So you need to have that in your mind. Now, in having that thought, I want to bring this up to you. Just like I said, what your expectation is, that's what's going to happen. So a lot of people get tripped up on this as well. See, the other thing that you need to understand is what you believe is what you produce. Proverbs 10:24 says, the fear of the wicked will come upon him, and the desires of the righteous will be granted. So what you need to, what it's trying to tell you is that what you're expecting, what your expectation is, that's what's going to happen. And a lot of times in our lives, and what we're having is emotional abuse, past lessons from when we were children, anger, fear, insecurity. All of these things are blocking faith from happening in our lives. Because we were taught as a child, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. You can't achieve this, you can't achieve that. You can't touch this, you can't go here, you can't go there. So we've heard the words, we can't, so often that that's the first thing that comes to our mind whenever we're attempting to achieve anything new. Well, we probably can't. And that's what needs to be removed out of our mind. And I understand when, if you have a 2-year-old and they like to touch your little figurines that you have decorating your living room, and you're going to tell that child, you don't touch that. But you don't explain to the child why not. So the child sees that you touch it when you're cleaning around, and when other people come to visit, they admire it and they touch it and they pick it up. So the child, in their mind, they think, well, it must be me. I'm the problem. I'm the one that can't touch it. Well, why can't I touch it? There's something wrong with me. Everybody else can touch it. And that begins to trigger something in their subconscious. And that's what the child was never explained to him. Well, what can happen is you can drop it, it can break, and the pieces of that can actually cut you and harm you. That's the part that we don't explain. So the child doesn't really know. The child doesn't really understand. But when he doesn't capture that, when he gets older, he can touch it then. So you see, a lot of these past lessons, they're tripping us up right now, and they're not letting you achieve what you want to achieve. Those are the hurdles that you have to overcome. So you have to kind of reprogram it like you're reprogramming a computer. When you see a virus or a malware or anything like that, you have to delete it. You have to remove it. The same thing in your mind. When there's a negative thought in your mind, you have to delete it and replace it with a positive thought. And that's what I'm going to teach you here, is how to remove the negative thoughts and replace them with a positive thought, making sure that you're renewing your mind. The Bible says that's renewing your mind. It's actually reprogramming the way you think. And that's what you need to do. Now, last but not least, which is the second point here, I want you to understand that faith is available to everyone. And that's going to be your word for this week. All right? Faith is available to everyone, not just a chosen few. In the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 8, it says, for everyone who asks, receives. And he who seeks, finds. And to him who knocks, it will be opened. Everyone, the very first, for everyone who asks, receives. So that's the key word for you for this whole week. All right? Whenever you get a negative thought, I want you to replace it with a positive thought. And that thought for this week is everyone. Everyone includes you. Everyone includes me. Everyone. So whenever you get a negative thought, I'm going to be putting out some mental notes for you to replace your negative thoughts with these positive ones. I want you to look those up in my Facebook or about that, or in Instagram. But mainly, you can stay in my. You can also see them on the YouTube channel. But please, most of all, on my blog. Mainly, you can just focus on there, and everything will be there on the mental notes. So I'm giving you all these options, but really, I just want you to stay on the blog. So look for those mental notes, because that is how you're going to begin to reprogram your mind, change the way you think. The moment you begin to change the way you think, the world around you is going to change. Everything around you is going to change once you begin to change the way that you think. Because the only problem right now is that faith is not functioning because of the past mentality that you've had in your mind that's blocking faith from functioning into your life properly. Remove the negative thoughts and replace them with positive thoughts. Look for those positive thoughts in my mental notes on the blog. God bless you, and you have a great day. Thank you.